Many a story has been written about the struggle between migrant youth and their parents fighting to keep tradition alive. But the book The Wong Way to Marry goes beyond the usual identity issues by throwing its heroine Lily Wong into the ultimate sex, drugs, and rock and roll trip. It's 1979 and hippies all over New Zealand troop to Waihi for 3 days of rock and roll. More than 75,000 gather on this grazing land for the Nambasa Festival. Hard to imagine the daughter of a conservative Chinese family in this crowd, but this is exactly where author Colleen Poulter immersed her heroine. And here, at the same spot where it all happened, is where we brought Colleen to talk about her book.
Really, it is about coming of age. It's about growing up ethnic in New Zealand, and really the consequences of making your own decisions and what you have to do as a result of them. Being yourself versus what other people want you to be.
It's about a young woman with strong Chinese roots, torn between her family's expectations and her own need for freedom.
So The Wong Way to Marry is a little bit of a social commentary on not just the Chinese, but any ethnic family and how they expect their daughters to do well, marry well.
Colleen knows how it feels to have those expectations placed upon her and how it was to shatter these expectations by dating the quintessential rock and roll bad boy. It seems Colleen and Lily have more things in common than she would care to say.
The wonderful thing about writing fiction is you can take, as an observer, everybody's stories and weave them into a wonderful tale. And so, I mean, if I wrote an autobiography, I wouldn't be talking to you. The publisher probably would have been asleep within 5 minutes.
But getting the book published is a story in itself and one worth telling. For Colleen, mother, wife, and IT consultant, getting this far in writing is a dream come true.
I've always wanted to be a writer since I was a teenager, so it's one of those teenage dreams. There was 3 things I always wanted to do, was to be an artist, a writer, and to make a movie.
But getting there was a bit of a struggle.
You get the normal, "Dear John, we didn't even read your manuscript letters." I've got a collection of those, by the way. I think like every author has.
Things changed, however, when Colleen joined the New South Wales Writers' Society.
I rang up to join the society one day and they said, "Oh, we've got a competition going. The competition is you pitch to a publisher." Oh, I said, "Well, that's a great idea." He took one look at the manuscript and said, "Yes." And that's pretty much how it happened.
Colleen, who markets the book herself, is getting ready for her next big step, turning the book into a movie. But she needs to sort out one important detail, retrieving the only existing copy of the 2-hour Nambasa footage, which went missing about 20 years ago.
Unfortunately, the last known version of the 2-hour 16mm edition of the film was actually taken, believed missing, from the director Philip Howe's office in Sydney, in SBS, and that's the last we've ever seen of it. So now, of course, we want it back because obviously when we go and make Wong Way the movie, we will want to use a lot of the original archive footage. I mean, you couldn't possibly recreate 60,000 people.
Colleen is working with the Nambasa Trust to recover the missing 2-hour video. If her determination is anything to go by, she will get the movie finished, and she offers this advice to any aspiring writer.
Just don't ever, ever, ever give up. And that's my advice to any budding writer. Just don't give up. Be passionate about your work, believe in yourself, and it will happen.
If you have any information that can lead to the video's recovery, please contact the Nambasa Trust.
That's it from Asia Down Under this week. As ever, the TVNZ website and YouTube is the place to go to catch our stories again. Have a good week, and we leave you with more images from the 70s world of sex, drugs and rock and roll at Nambasa. Sayonara, and see you next time.
programme was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.